Before we get into anything, just realized how god-awful I look in this video, so my apologies. Hello, and good afternoon, or morning, or night, whenever you're watching this. Good day, good 3 a.m. and you can't sleep. What's going on? I just got accepted into the College for Creative Studies in Detroit, so I wanted to take some time to show people what's in my portfolio because it is not only a good and helpful guide for people who want to get into CCS, but also just art school in general, I guess. But like, of course, there's like harder art schools to get into. Not that this was much easier than you know, getting into any college. So I'm going to be majoring in animation, but I went in with the expectation of majoring in illustration, but while I was there, the admissions counselor was like, "Are you sure you want to be majoring in illustration?" And I was like, "No, I want to do animation." So I'll be majoring in animation, but that's just to be like, I don't have any animation in my portfolio because I don't know how to animate yet. It's kind of what I'm going to school for. This is essentially, it's like an animation and illustration portfolio, even though like the expectation was like me going in and wanting to go for illustration initially because I wasn't confident enough to be like, hey, I want to major in animation. So we're gonna start off with all the digital work that I showed because I am a mostly digital person when it comes to my art. So the first thing in my portfolio was a quick little like head study of my friend Dan. Shout out to Dan. Love you. It was just to show that like I know how to do shading and also like kind of gives people a glimpse into like the normal color palette I kind of veer towards, which is like a super warm palette, which you can see throughout a majority of my work. This is a study of light and shadows. Some people are going to recognize this as a screenshot from a music video. Not going to go into the artist or anything, but if you know, you know. She really liked this, the admissions counselor there. And so there's that. That's, yep. This is Mark Lee. Mark Lee was in my college portfolio. So this is just a drawing of Mark, and I really like it. I think it shows off my style really well, so I put it in my portfolio. There's not like super exciting stories for most of these. This was for ummmmm, and I think it's just a really good like example of me being able to draw characters and like a background sort of, even though I'm not really super skilled at drawing backgrounds. Still like I can do them kind of. This piece was for Inktober of 2018, and originally it didn't look like this. It was actually a monochrome red piece, and it was just like it was all red, and it just didn't look as interesting before I changed it. So some people are gonna recognize this piece because I posted it a lot. Not a lot, I don't like fucking spam. I just posted it everywhere essentially. But yeah, this is one of my favorite drawings, and yeah. This was a drawing I did last year after seeing just a member of BTS with a new haircut, and I was like, or not a new haircut, but like a new hair color, and I was like, dope, he looks like a prince, I want to draw that, and so I did. That's what this is. It was very much inspired by like the Heavenly Bodies Met Gala, because of like the whole like circly head thing and like the golds and whatever. Like, trust me, I would have added tears like on the face and everything if I didn't think it was too extra. This was inspired by a photo I saw of a deer with an arrow through its head, and I wanted to like add a little backstory to that, I guess, of like Ooh, the deers are running. I don't know. I just really like this piece. And I thought it was portfolio worthy. This is also a fairly old drawing. But I don't know, it still like very much shows my style now too, which is good. This was for a school project. This is a Frankenstein book cover, and I really wanted to be like, what if Frankenstein was this like homoerotic love story and Frankenstein the monster was just a total hunk? And so that's what this is. Not much else to say for that. So this was just a little character study I did, and yeah, I just wanted to have more things in my portfolio. It's just like, I can draw characters and that's what I want to focus on. These are actually characters I want to be able to flesh out someday because I've had them for a hot minute. This is another mermaid piece from this year. I just wanted to draw it. With a lot of my like character study type drawings, the admissions counselor there recommended that because she saw that I do have the ability to draw backgrounds for drawings like this and the character study previously, she was like, adding like really simple backgrounds can bring a lot to a study or to just a piece like this in general, and it would bring out a lot more in my work personally. So that's something that I already knew, but like it was good to hear from somebody else to confirm it, to be like, yeah, you should work on this. So this piece was really well received by the admissions counselor, and this piece is fan art of Forever Rain, the music video for RM song Forever Rain, and this is kind of like my one super standalone piece in my portfolio because it's like so unlike all my other things, because it's like essentially a direct like disconnect, because it's supposed to be like fan art of a completely different art style. So that's what this is. Another just character study. Just a girl in a blank background. Again. You can see what I have to work on. But yeah, just plain and simple. This piece also super well received because of like the colors and just like the composition of it in general. I even went back and showed her the original. I'll put again the original side by side. This was another piece inspired by an artist who shall not be named, because don't like them anymore. It again shows off my super warm color palette choices. So anyways, so this piece shows off, once again, just like my range of colors, and she complimented like how I choose colors and how I have like a story in mind when I'm thinking of like choosing a color palette. So this, the like revival, I guess, of this piece, me redoing this piece, and recoloring it, I wanted to have like a super warm, comforting, like sunset type palette in mind, and she took notice of that, which is good because that's exactly what I was going for. So this piece, I wanted to show off a like painterly side to my style, because when I am drawing backgrounds, I do like to be a bit more delicate, if that makes sense. I'm never super complex with them, but I always I like having a certain style with backgrounds when I do them. And so that's what this is. It's just a very like remote kind of fantasy setting in a forest. You don't really know what's going on. So that's it for my digital part of my portfolio. So now we'll move on to my sketchbook. So for my sketchbook, I just used a Canson mixed media, just wearing, as you can see, nothing too ornate with my sketchbook. I started this July 8th, 2019. This was a study of like movement and also just different poses from a dance practice, which is super fun to do and a really good idea for practicing poses if you want to get good at poses. There's just a continuation of that, and then for those that know, this is just 10. This is all three of these are all 10, but this is just more of a me drawing 10. So we love him, we love him. So the last part of my portfolio was figure studies that I got done with the help of some friends. So I used some artist loft canvas paper to do this. This is just a 10-sheet one, and I really recommend, if you're going to be doing figure studies, use canvas paper, because like, I don't know, like there's something about like the way it like, I don't know, it just looked really good on the canvas paper. And when I went in, the admissions counselor was like, this is a really good idea. I'm just like blowing up my head here with like a bike pump. But yeah, so if you're gonna do figure studies, do on canvas paper. Unless it is required that you do not use canvas paper, then don't use canvas paper. But I really liked working with canvas paper to do this. So let's get into what these look like. So I explained terribly why I liked using the canvas paper instead of like normal sketchbook paper, and it's because when you're using the canvas paper, the charcoal, if you're using charcoal, which I did, that's why I liked the canvas paper so much, it gives it just more texture, and it just makes the figure studies like more interesting to look at, even though that's not what they're for. But that's something my guidance counselor noticed and was like, oh, that's a really interesting idea. So that's so easy to explain, and it just did not cross my mind. And now we can move on to the figure studies, finally. I just had to explain that.
I'm falling and I can't turn back.
So that was my portfolio that was accepted into the College for Creative Studies in Detroit. And thank you for watching. I was gonna say see you next time, but there's probably not gonna be a next time because I am not a YouTuber. And